Hi, my name's Rob Scott from UC Today News. Hope you're doing well. Today, I'm joined by Michael Hawkins at BCM One, and we're going to be discussing adding value to voice in Microsoft Teams. Welcome, Michael.
Hey, Rob, thanks for having me.
Hey, thanks for joining me. Just before we get started, Michael, how about we just do a quick intro? Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at BCM One, please.
Sure. So I am the Director of Solutions Engineering and Product Development or Management. And at BCM, essentially that means that we're helping our customers figure out the best solutions. And the other side of that coin, we're helping enhance the features and the products that we have to fit more of our customers' needs. And that's what we do on a daily basis.
That's great. Thanks for that. And we've got an interesting topic lined up today. So, to kick things off, first of all, what does voice enabling teams mean, and how does that compare to, a pretty standard Microsoft calling plan?
Yeah, I think that's a great jumping off point. So I'm pretty sure most of the viewers are familiar with the Microsoft Teams system itself and the ability to go in through the Microsoft portal and purchase a calling plan associated with Teams so that you can get dial tone. Um, but that said, dial tone isn't exactly in the DNA of Microsoft. That's not something that they've focused on. So if you like all the features that Teams has, the collaboration, the integration with business processes, SharePoint, etc., but you'd like that dial tone to be provided by someone that really focuses on that as a core service and has been doing it for 20, 30 years like BCM, it allows you to marry both of those worlds together in the best possible scenario.
That's a great way of explaining it, and certainly it's a lot more flexible, isn't it, than the standard calling plan solution that comes from Microsoft. I think we're going to probably dig a little bit deeper on that, but certainly flexibility is a key point as well. So, in terms of what's been happening out there recently, we're now kind of moving hopefully towards the end of this pandemic, and end customer organizations, I imagine, are reevaluating their needs after kind of putting band-aids or band-aid type solutions over their telephony. Is that your perspective? Are organizations reevaluating things right now?
So I think that's probably one of the more common conversations that we have at this point. And look, I can't blame anyone for, well, if you have hair, for having your hair on fire during the pandemic and trying to come up with a solution for the new norm. One day we were in the office, the next day everyone's working in disparate places. How do you account for that? Well, Teams was already installed on most people's PCs, already licensed through most organizations. So it made a lot of natural sense. But what happened in the conversations that we're having on a regular basis are that was a great stopgap. It fixed the problem and allowed people to communicate. But as they started living with the solutions, they'd start asking, boy, wouldn't it be nice if it could do XYZ? And I don't know if that's maybe analytics or call center or whatever the case might be. But as that Teams phone system became ingrained within the organization into those business processes, people started asking for it to do more and more. And it wasn't necessarily fully capable of that. So as people go back and they look at the solutions that they put in place, and reevaluate those, I think they're looking for all the advantages that they got right off the bat, but then to enrich that and continue to bring it deeper within their core business processes.
Yeah, it's a great way of describing it as well. Is Microsoft Teams able to satisfy every type of customer scenario nowadays? It sounds like that they can't. What does that look like from your perspective, and how are you addressing those gaps?
Yeah, and I think that's such a great question. So the Microsoft Teams phone system is phenomenal. It's got a lot of the most commonly used features. But is it ready for every organization? You got to think Microsoft just released this. They've been working on it for a couple of years now. We've got phone vendors out there who have been adding features, adding sets, doing this for 30 years, and they still can't encompass everything that every customer wants. That's why we have multiple vendors. And I think the same thing applies to Microsoft as well. So when we're looking at it from our customers, if they've got a call center, if they need advanced reporting, if they need advanced analytics, if they're trying to deal with things like analog faxing or paging devices, those are things that the Microsoft phone system's not capable of handling at this moment. Doesn't mean that it won't be or that will always be the case, but right now those are feature gaps. So what we can do at BCM, and it's kind of an unfair advantage because we've got multiple platforms, is we can pair the Microsoft Teams phone system or the end user experience with the brains of our UCaaS system, which is much more heavily developed and feature rich than the Microsoft phone system, to bridge those gaps in between those missing features right now without changing how the end user interacts with their software on their desktop, whether that be the mobile app or their desktop.
Yeah, it's interesting. So, what we're talking about there is, almost Teams as a platform and bringing in other complementary solutions into that environment, into that ecosystem, like your UCaaS platform. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, absolutely. It's marrying the best of both worlds. You get all the brains and the features of UCaaS, but you get the end user experience without having to change anything for your users. It's that same exact experience that they've been using for the past 2 years.
Fantastic. And, for any organization out there, watching, I mean, what advice would you offer, them if they're, when looking for a partner to help them with this kind of voice enablement?
So, Rob, I'm biased, call BCM, right? But that being said, genuinely, when you're taking a look and evaluating or trying to find a partner that provides Microsoft Team phone systems and the associated dial plans with those, I think it's very important to look at companies that have more than one arrow in their quiver. They're not just a one-trick pony. There are a lot of companies out there that offer Teams in one flavor, but as we've discussed, one flavor of phone system doesn't fit every organization. So I think if you look at someone like a BCM where we have multiple platforms and multiple ways to deploy Teams, it really gives organizations that comfort level that the solution can grow with them, and that if they outstrip the feature set within Microsoft Teams, they don't have to try and unwind a contract. They don't have to go back and find another vendor. These are all technology upgrades that BCM's well equipped to help our customers move from one platform to the next without having to reinvent the wheel.
And your solution at BCM, is it designed for small business, large enterprise? Who can it cater for?
Sure. So I think everyone's going to say you can cater to everyone. Our sweet spot is anything from 50 seats up into the tens of thousands of seats. That's really where we focus on, that small to medium enterprise, and then of course the enterprise level businesses as well.
Got it. So, these platforms, I imagine, are very, very scalable nowadays. And if they wanted to bolt other complementary solutions in, like contact center technologies, is that possible?
Yeah, 100%. I think that's one of the unique advantages that BCM One has, again, because of our DNA and the fact that everything is built around that dial tone or our SIP trunking platforms. It allows us to power, let's say, a call center as a service, as well as Teams, all from the same dial plan in a very cost-effective manner.
That's fantastic. So for anyone out there looking to find out more about BCM and how to connect Microsoft Teams voice or enable Microsoft Teams voice with a solution like BCM, what's the best way to get in touch?
Go to our website. We've got free Teams evaluations. I believe the link is below in the description. So reach out to us, and we'd love to have a conversation with you and one of our solutions engineers.
It's fantastic. Well, I'm afraid that's all we've got time for today. However, if you're interested in finding out more, as Michael mentioned, please do click that link in the description. Michael, thank you. It's been great to see you today. Thank you so much for joining me.
Rob, thank you so much. I had fun. I appreciate it.
And thanks to everyone for watching. If you've got some good takeaways from today's session, do give us a quick like on social or a quick mention. And subscribe to our channel for more industry news and insights. I'm Rob Scott from UC Today. Thanks for watching.